Hello everyone, I hope you are having a great day. It is Heather here again from the Boys and Girls Club of Hamilton with another fit tip. Today will be our final fit tip for the year and we will be discussing posture with respect to how we sit and some ways to reduce that hip stiffness or hip pain that we may be experiencing. So let's get right on into it. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit louder since it's kind of windy outside, so I want to make sure that you guys are able to hear me clear enough. So our very first exercise is going to be working on hip flexion. So anytime that you hear the word flexion, you know that a muscle is shortening in length when we're flexing it. So if you think about when you flex your bicep, it's shortening in length. So we're going to be working on hip flexion. So I'm going to take a step back so that you can see exactly what I'm asking you to do. But some key things to keep in mind while we're going through this process is that we always want to stand with our good posture. So before we begin our exercise, we're standing up nice and tall, shoulders rolled back and relaxed, remembering that we have that string pulling our head up towards the sky or the invisible roof, just like we're being pulled straight up. For this one, our hands are going to go on our hips or straight down at our sides, and we're going to do one leg at a time. So I'm going to jump back now, and you'll be able to see, and let's check it out. Alright, so once we're back here, hands on our hips or down at our side, we are putting our feet hip width apart, and then we are slowly bringing one up, flexing that leg up, 2, 3, driving our heel down, 2, 3, not letting our foot touch the ground, up, 2, 3, hold, drive down with your heel, 2, 3, good, repeating for 10 to 12, on that leg, and then switching over to the other leg. Again, just like we've been doing all along, we're repeating 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps on each leg, as much as you are able to, remembering that we're pushing our body to the appropriate amount for our body. Alright, let's check out number 2. Okay, so now that we've done those hip flexions, it's important that we work our body in the opposite manner. So this time we're going to do those extensions. For most of you, I'm going to suggest that you use a chair, a countertop, whatever it is that you have at your home to ensure that you are maintaining a safe balance. I don't have anything outside with me right now, so I'm not going to use anything, but I'm going to encourage you to please do so, ensure that you are staying safe. So this time it's going to be more of a kickback motion, and you'll see when I hop back to try it out. But again, we're going to be standing in that upright position. You will be slightly leaned forward just to have your fingertips touching onto that top of the chair, the countertop. But again, it's just for balance purposes. We're not putting our body weight on it. We're just having our fingertips just resting ever so lightly on it in order to maintain balance. Okay, let me hop back and you'll be able to see exactly what I'm asking you to do. Alright, so for this one, if I have my pretend chair here, my fingertips are resting nice and light. Again, my feet are hip width apart, and this time one leg at a time, so you'll see me do my right first. I am just nice, kick back, and back to neutral. Kick back, and neutral. And you should feel this in your glutes as you kick back, and neutral. Kick back, and to neutral. Kick back, and to neutral. Again, continuing within the pattern we've been doing of that 10 to 12 reps for 3 to 5 sets. As much as you're able, 3 to 5 sets is a goal. If you can only do 1 to 3, totally fine as well. I would encourage you 1 to 3 minimum, working up to 3 to 5. All right, let's check out exercise number 3. Okay, so we've done our flexion and extension, so that's those movement patterns that are in that kind of forward and backwards directions. But now we're going to do some things moving in a more lateral pattern, so that is that left to right pattern. So for this one, it's going to be our hip abduction, and the way that you can remember this one is to abduct is to take away. So this is moving away from the body. So we're going to stand with our hands in one of two positions. You can have them in a neutral position in front of your chest or down at your sides, whichever is best for you. If you need to hold on to something for balance, that's totally okay as well, as long as it's in a relaxed manner, just like I reminded you before, fingertips resting, not placing our full body weight. Alright, what you're going to be doing is you're going to start with those feet, always that shoulder or hip width apart. And we're going to be moving one leg at a time. You'll see when I hop back, I'm going to start with my right leg. My left leg will remain planted. And I'm abducting, or I'm moving that leg out and away from the body. So let's check it out. So here you can see I'm going to have my hands here, but again, you can have them resting here or leaning on something in front, just resting, not leaning all the way down. just a nice rest. We're starting with that right leg. This one remains planted, and we're just lifting up, out to the side as far as you're able. If you can only go out to here, that's okay. If you're able to go here comfortably or all the way up to the side, whatever you're able to do. We're going out, abducting away from our body and back in. Nice and controlled. It is more important that you go a small distance in a controlled fashion than all the way up here and be tumbling over. So it's much better to just go a short distance in a controlled fashion. Again, we're doing those 2 counts out, 2 count in. So everything's on a 4 count. 1, 2, out, 2, in, 2. Good. Repeating, we're doing, again, 10 to 12 on the right. Switch, 10 to 12 on the left. For 1 to 3, working up to 3 to 5 sets. All right, let's check out one last exercise to work on our hip mobility patterning. Just really being able to stretch and strengthen those hips. All right, everyone, for this last one, we're going to focus a little bit more on stretching rather than strengthening. I know that a lot of people tend to, especially during these COVID times, we've been doing a lot more sitting. And so we've had some tightness in our hips. So we're going to be working on a little bit of stretching in an upright position. There are lots and lots more stretches that you can do if you want to do it in a position where you're laying on the ground or seated on the floor. But for those of us who have any mobility restrictions, I wanted to avoid sharing some of those. So we are going to do one that's just a nice standing up stretch so that anybody can do it. Again, we can use a countertop, a chair back, whatever you need to support your balance. So I'm going to hop back and you'll be able to see. All right, for this one, there's a few important cues. So we're doing one at a time. You're bringing that back heel up. The most important thing is that you're not having your knee out like this. And when you do this, you're putting your hip and your knee in a compromised position. So we want that knee to really be squeezed nice and close to the other knee. Okay? So we're lifting that foot up and we're trying our best to grab it with our back hand. If you are unable to grab your foot with your hand, it is better for you to just do this than to reach for it and have your hip in this awkward, compromising position where you can injure yourself. So again, you can see I'm using the tree just for some balance. This is a better stretch and better for our hip than this. We don't want to risk any injury, okay? In this situation, it's best to have the thing that we're using for balance on the side opposite to the hand that we're reaching for. So again, we're going to hold here for about 10 to 15 seconds. You should feel the stretch in your thigh and your quad. And then we're switching legs. If you feel comfortable with your balance, you can put a hand out in front, out to the side, up above for a more challenge, whatever is most comfortable for you. Again, if you have a little bit of trouble with your balance or you're shaky, please hold on to something out in front or to the opposite side. You should feel this stretch in your quads, in those thighs. If you are not feeling it, try to pull your heel up closer to your bum and you will start to feel it more up in your hip flexor, so that's higher up towards your abdomen. That is all for today's exercises. Thank you so much. Okay, everyone, that is all I have for you for today and for this year. I hope you have a great holiday season. You are staying safe, happy, and healthy, and I will see you all in the new year. Again, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me via email. Have a great holiday and a happy new year. Goodbye.